Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sylvia and my channel is all about art and craft. Now, in the last two videos that I've been doing on a Tuesday, we've covered sketching an image and shading it just with a lead pencil. Today, we're going to do it in colour pencil. Now, I have some Derwent Academy watercolour pencils, but you can use just any normal colour pencil. Now, to start off with, we're going to use just a normal red colour pencil in order to put the tomato in, and after that we're going to go in with a light green pencil to put in the stem. Now again, I'm not going to put every single detail in. I'm just going to do the main stem and that's pretty much it. So again, I'll be doing it where I'm using my eyes to follow along the line to do my sketching. And if you still feel not comfortable doing it that way, again, you can just draw a circle and then use your circle to get your shape in, or use the traceable that's on my Patreon account to just trace it out. Because remember, practice, 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 and eventually you can do it without a problem. So again, I'll be starting at the bottom here. And again, just very lightly, don't press down too hard. And hopefully this pad is going to be big enough. I decided to use my journal, and it's only a small journal, so, but I should be pretty right. I've done it before in here, so I should be able to do it again. I'll just make it a little bit smaller, that's all. But we'll sort of get roughly about the same shape. Might not be exactly the same, but that's okay too. Because what do I always say? A tomato doesn't always look exactly the same. They come in all different shapes and sizes. There we go, close enough. I'll round it off a little bit more down the bottom here. Now the good thing is, by using when you're using colours, as long as you sort of have to redo the line more on the outside, you can actually leave that little line there, because we only went in lightly, so you know, it'll be fine. So as you can see, mine is a little bit more narrow. It's not sort of as wide as it is here. Again, that's fine. And then I'll grab my light green, and this one is called apple green. So if you've got the Academy watercolours in the Derwent, then you'll be able to go with the colours that I'm using. Otherwise, just use any sort of light green colour for this. And we'll just, again, just draw in the indications of what we've got here. And I'll be doing it a little bit bigger just to give us a little bit more room. And hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit better too. On what I'm doing. So I'm just going to go up to there. That'll do. At least that way we'll get majority of it in, but not necessarily every little tiny detail. As I say, I probably should have turned this the other way around and done it sort of this way instead of this way, because I'm limited on space. It's just one of those things. And at the end of the day, what we've got to remember also is we actually have an artist license. We can modify anything that we want, the way we want, as long as we get it to look like what it's supposed to. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. I'll give you full permission on that one. Okay, now bring that up a bit, across a bit, and we'll put the next one in. You can actually hear my Major Mitchell in the background chattering. I don't think I should tell you what he's busy doing, but what he's actually saying is excitable. So yes, he's a bit naughty. But that's okay. Now again, because I'm making it a lot smaller but making this bit bigger, I sort of have to try and squeeze it in a little bit. But again, that's okay. There we go. That'll do. And then we'll go back in with the red. Just squeeze things in. What I might do is bring this a little bit more up and around, just so that we can make it look the way it's supposed to. Might make it a bit bigger here. There. And I'll come across here. There we go. So the first thing that we want to do is indicate where our shadow area is, and we're just going to do it again very lightly. We're just sort of about here, just so that we don't colour that section in. I'm going to put this bit here in as well. Oh, I haven't finished that bit there, so we'll do that in a second. Yeah. And we'll put this bit here in. That's a little bit lighter. Just roughly. Okay, I'll quickly grab the green and we'll finish putting this stem in. Apparently I'm way off today, but never mind, these things happen. And yes, I could really, you know, erase it all and do it again, but this is more the exercise of, you know, use the colours that your image is in order to sketch it. and from there basically it's just the shading side of things. And you will see that although I'm out quite a bit and my sketching is not that good this morning, we all have those sort of days where things just don't work out the way we want them to. So, oops, and I forgot this one. I'm doing really well, aren't I? Dearie me. There we go. So we got all that in. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is use the red and very lightly shade it all in. Now you will notice, yes, it kind of looks darker than what it does here, but by the time we're finished, it'll be completely different. So we'll just lightly put the colour in. I was actually going to do the video the other day, but I had trouble with my pencils. The tip just kept breaking away, and which can be a very common thing in pencils, because when you think about it, these pencils come from England, so you know, transportation, and they can get cracked all the way in here because, you know, they've been a bit rough in the shipping department, which is no fault of the manufacturer. And but I found a video that explained how you can fix it. So yesterday, while my husband and I went out shopping, I had all my pencils, and I'll show you, because I actually kept the tray instead of the whole tin. I put them all into this tray, and then I kept them in the car, because it was a beautiful, warm, summery sort of a day, and so it meant that it got nice and hot in the car. And what that does, it actually melts all the inside, all the colour inside. And when you then take it back out and, you know, put on your table, you let it cool right down, and it should have fixed it. So we're going to find out whether that's the case, because, yeah, hopefully I won't have them breaking on me while I'm sketching away, because that was what was happening the other day when I was doing the video, and I sort of went, yeah, okay, I can't do the video with them continuously breaking, and so I thought, oh, I'll give this a go and see how it goes. So we'll find out. Okay, so I'm going to put this one up here for the minute, because we might go back to it. And next I'm going to use a dark red, and we're going to do the darker area here. And again, just very lightly. And if you would notice, I'm putting my finger sort of over the top to try and stop me from going over the line when I'm close to the edge. And we'll just come a little bit lighter over here. And remember, it's just about the pressure. The more pressure we put on the paper, the darker we'll get it, and the less pressure we put on, the lighter we get it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken this line a bit more. like so. And basically what we're doing is we're layering the colours on before we go in with our blending stump. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of the red down the bottom here for the shading, because when you actually look at the reference photo, you can see that there's like a red shadow down the bottom. I'm doing a little bit wider than what it is there, which is fine, because although in the reference photo the way the light's coming in, mine could be coming in a little bit further over, which creates more of a shadow here. And it's more to do with me showing you, being able to show you the shadow side of things properly by adding extra colour to it. So, okay, so next we actually want to grab a purple, okay, because of it being so dark here. By adding the purple we get the darkness, and generally you would think, you know, you would use black in order to make it, or grey, a dark grey to make it dark like that, but no, you actually want to use purple. And again, we'll just very lightly go over the top, over there a little bit, like so. And again, because we're not putting this bit here in, I'm not putting that shadow there in, because, or highlight shall I say, because that highlight there is actually from this piece here. So because it's not in our reference photo, it won't go in. Okay, so we've got the purple in. Next I want to grab, whoop, don't drop them girl, they'll break. Next I'm going to go in with the orange yellow, and I'm actually going to put some up the top here. And I'm going to go over the top of this as well, because that will allow us to blend it all in properly. Now don't forget, this is not going to stay looking like that, we'll end up blending it out a bit more. Like that. Now I'm going to grab the medium yellow, and I'm going to put the medium yellow sort of around where the highlight is, more on this side than this side. I'll just put it very lightly over there. I'll put some down here as well, like so. Now let me look. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, actually I'll grab the purple first, because I'm going to put a bit of purple in here first. Okay, so we'll grab the purple and we're going to do the line of the tomato in purple down here. Okay, just like that. And then we're just going to add some more, sort of like that. And then I'm going to grab the grey I'm going to go over the top of that. Like so. Now I'm going to grab the orange yellow and I'm going to define the line just here because it sort of has a bit of a orange tinge to it, and a little bit just here, and then I'm actually going to go in with just an orange. Just to brighten it up. Again, very lightly. I'm just going to go up to there. So we'll put them there. Now I'm going to grab the dark red. We'll define this one a little bit more. Like so. Bring it down and meet it up with the orange. And we'll put more of the dark red in. And my apologies for the camera shaking a little bit, but my table was just not sturdy enough, not solid enough to stop that from happening, because my entire table is shaking. And again, you just start going in a little bit on the lighter side, and that will allow the blending to be far better. Now, as you can see here, it's actually, it's got like a darker line there. So I'm going to put that in. Like so. Again, don't dig in, just do it very lightly. And got a bit more red just there. And now I'm going to grab the red again. And what we're now going to do is we're going to grab our blending stump and instead of using the tip, I'm just going to use the edge, and we're going to start very lightly, don't press down too hard. We'll start blending the colours together. Because the harder you rub on your paper, you start sort of peeling the paper away, and that's something we don't want. Now, although I've just gone over where the little highlight is, it doesn't matter because it's not pure white there as it is. So and I'll be going in with a bit more colour after, so we'll be able to fix it that way. But as you can see, it's blending together very, very well. Now, if you would notice, I'm not using my glove today, and that's mainly because I'm actually working on such a small area. My hand's not going to end up in it, so I know I'm quite safe. So, just to give you a little bit of a heads up on that one. And probably when we start doing the top bit, I'll probably just put a piece of paper over the top, just like I explained to you in the last video. That's, you know, what you can do in order to make sure you don't smudge the colour or the shading, the picture. Yeah, so anyway. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, with the blending stump, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to blend a little shading area, and we will have to make it darker. We will get to it. Okay, now we'll go back in with the purple now, and we'll add some more purple. Now if you would have noticed, I've just sort of stayed away where the highlight should be, and I'm sort of going in reasonably close with the purple. And this is basically the way you do it. You just keep going in with a little bit more, and as long as you don't press down too hard, you can keep layering your colours. It's not a problem. And what I'm actually going to do is, because it kind of looks quite purple along here, or quite dark, I'm actually going to go in with the purple. Like so. This is actually nice and relaxing. I love it. Absolutely love it. Go away, Elijah. That's my cat Elijah that wants to come in here and run amok, and I will not have it. Now I'm going to go back in with the dark red. And again, my apologies for the camera shaking. And we'll put it back in here a little bit more, like so. And I'll go back in with the orange yellow as well. And this time, yeah, and then we'll go in with some more yellow, just to give it that yellow tinge that's sort of showing there. It's sort of a yellowy orangey tinge, but it sort of brightens the area up a bit, and that's what we want. So as you can see, you can really manipulate the colours. Okay, so because we need to get this shadow a lot darker, I'm actually going to use black. Generally I don't use black, but in order to get the really dark shadow line, I'm going to have to. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to. Because I want to make sure that it looks right. Like that. And very carefully with the tip of the blending stump, I'm just going to go along the line, and then what you want to do is start fading it out by doing circular motions, because that way it sort of blends in with the other colour. like so. How easy was that? Just like that. And now we're going to go back in with the flat end and move that around a bit more. Being careful along the edges. And there's actually something that we can do in order to make our edges a little bit more crisp, and I'll show you that very shortly. Okay, now remember how I said this area here is not a pure white. Now that I've sort of mixed it all in, like blended it all in, what I'm going to do is very lightly go over the top with this area here to put some of the colour in. Like so. And we're going to sort of do the same here, just very lightly go over it so it's got that tinge. And the same over here. Now, remember how I told you about my famous kneadable eraser? Well, this is where this is going to come in very handy. And what I'm actually going to do is flatten it out like so, and then I'm just going to go right up to the edge, put it down, lift it up. Put it down and lift it up. Now I'm going to do it in a more of a pointy, and we'll do it again, down and up, like so. And we'll do the same over this side. Now sometimes it might not want to remove the colour, so you just very gently just brush along, but by having the point you can make sure you're just going along the edge like that. Now I'm going to bring that in a bit. See, I can just brush it like that. And what you want to do is every now and then is sort of remove the bit where we've already erased, so we've got a clean spot, and then you can just do the rest like so. And again, I can manipulate my shading like so. Just like that. And what I'm actually going to do, because you can sort of see a bit of white, but it doesn't look 100% white, I'm going to go in with my white pencil and just very lightly put some in. Now if that doesn't want to go on like it is here, what I actually do is, right, is grab one of these gel pens, because they do fade a bit when they dry, and I just very gently rub it along. and I actually sort of run it on a bit of scrap paper because the colour actually gets on there, so I'm actually able to wipe it off. And we can do the same here. And it doesn't want to work again. Okay, let's get it to work. There we go. That's the one downside about using a gel pen on pencils, but it can still be done. And if you do it in little circles, you can actually sort of fade the colours in together, which is kind of cool. And again, it doesn't want to go. Here we go. It really doesn't want to work. Maybe I should grab my other one. Hang on. Where's my other one? There it is. Let's see how well you will work. Or have I had you laying around for too long? Of course, it's hard to tell. So I'll just scribble on some colour. Don't know why. Ah, got it to work. Look out. I'm just sort of dabbing it on a bit because I discovered that my paper's trying to lift. So come along here a bit. So next we're going to be doing the stem, and I'm just going to disappear for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just had to attend to something very quickly, so I thought I'd better go and do that. Okay, so I've got this olive green, and I'm just going to go along the edge here because it's actually a lot darker along there. And we'll put some in here as well. And we'll put some here. And again, we'll be going in with other colours because there are a lot of different colours in here. And we're going to do that little section there, and then we're going to do this bit here. Basically what I'm doing right now is going in where all the darker colours are, so that we start getting that perspective. And I'm just going to do the line along here, like so, because we've got darker here, goes to there, but we also have it sort of coming back this way a little bit. But sort of fades away. Like so. Now, this section here is also a lot darker. I'll put indication of that in. And, you know, I better change my glasses. I just realised I'm wearing the wrong glasses. Maybe that's why I'm having such a bad time. We'll make that darker, like so. And we've got darker here for this bit. And we've got sort of bits and pieces here and there. And the same with this little bit here. Now I know you might end up getting a little bit confused because we've got two of the same colour, but we'll fix that in a minute. And then we'll put some here. And I'll end up stopping with this colour for the minute. While we're over here. Only so that you don't get too confused. Now I'm going to use this acid green, and where it's supposed to be really dark, like super dark, I'm going to put that in just to break it up a little bit so we don't get too confused here. And again, you know, it's all about layering all the different colours on in order to get the effects that we want. Now I'm actually going to go in with a dark brown where the super dark areas are. You really want to put in the brown like so. And it surely is a lot better than adding the black, because the black will make it look too fake. And we want to sort of get some sort of realism here, so got to make sure that we use the right sort of colour in order to get the effects that we want. Now I'm going to use like a dark green, and I'm going to come in here and add some of that. But I'm going to try and stay away from the edge, okay? And we'll come up here a little bit and add that in. And hang on, I'm going to put some here as well. And then I'm going to grab this. This is called clay yellow, and it's like a yellow ochre. I'm going to use that. Like that. Now I'm going to grab one of my smaller stumps, blending stumps. And I'm going to go from the darker to the lighter. And just sort of blend it, and I'm going to go all the way to the edge this time. Okay, so now I'm going to grab, yeah, I will go with the dark brown, just very lightly, just on the edge here. a little bit of the brown to fade in with this section here. We will put a little bit more colour into it, but for the minute we're not going to. And we're going to put more colour into here as well. This is just basically the beginning of it, and we need to blend things out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab this the apple green, I'm just going to make some of these lines a little bit brighter, because it's supposed to be quite light there, and in order to get the sort of shape, the roundedness, I like to sort of use sort of a light colour and go with the shape, and then bring it into the middle, because it kind of gives it that sort of rounded type look. Now I will grab the dark green again. I'm just going to put very lightly, just a little bit in here. And I'm going to put some more along here. But I'm also going to go back in with the, oops, that's the black. I don't want black. Where's my brown disappeared to? Hello brown. Dark brown. There we are. Okay. I'm going to put some more of that in. Like so. And then with our blending brush, blending stump, we'll blend it out. And now I'm going to go back in with some of the dark brown along here. And the lighter green. Like that. So, next. Now, before I continue, because I'm going to do this area here now, because I'll leave that bit here for a little bit later, I'm going to grab a bit of paper and lay it over the top, because my hand's going to be on the tomato itself, which means I'm going to end up spreading it all over. And I'm just going to come in and blend all this in. Like so. And we'll grab our dark brown, add that to the bottom, like so, and we'll make it a little bit darker along here, and just use little strokes going the one direction, and we'll put the brown here as well, like so, and down that way, and then we'll just give it a bit of a blend, and I'll grab the acid green, and again just little strokes Oops. And try not to go over the line. And here I'm just doing it very, very lightly. What I'm actually going to do is I'm grabbing the apple green and adding some of that in. I'm going to grab the white gel again. And I'm just going to add a little bit to it. Just, you know, just to put those little veins that are in the stump. That's pretty much what we're putting in. Like so. And it's got like a lighter shadow here. So I'll put that in. And just by dabbing it, you can remove a little bit of it if you need to. And we've got a little bit of a shadow here. Again, just dab it with your finger. It's like a very noticeable white spot. Kind of a white spot there. And a little bit there. There we go. And okay. So we've got this one here that we need to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the dark green to do that bit. Because although it's quite light, it's got a darker sort of shade to it. So let's use the darker colour to put in around the edge, like that. We'll add a little bit here. And we'll grab our dark brown, just put a little bit down the bottom here, not too much. And then we'll just blend it all together. Which will then give us the effect of, yes, it's light, it's not white, and it's not brown, and it's not super dark. Okay? And I will do the same little bit for this bit here. Just use the dark green and leave it at that. Now to do this one here, I'm going to use again the dark brown. For the really, really dark area. And we'll see afterwards, you know, I mean, we might still have to add a little bit of black to it. but generally I try not to. If I can get away with it, awesome. If I can't, oh well, too bad. And now I'm just going to grab the olive green and just put it in, and then grab the, no, that's a dark green. I wanted the acid green. I'm going to use the acid green in here as well. And, whoops, blending stump. And we'll just blend that all together. Like that. And then I'll grab my gel pen again. And just put the lighter lines in. They don't have to show up too well, it just has to give you that indication it's a little bit lighter there. And that's it on that. I'm going to grab the, no, that's the acid green. Where's my dark green disappeared to? There. And again, I'm just going to grab this bit of paper. And I'm actually going to move this a little bit. And I'm going to go in and define the edges a bit with it. And it's funny, it says dark green, but to me it doesn't look dark at all. Hence why I go in with the dark brown as well, so that I can make it look like it's a dark green. You know, sometimes we just got to be a little bit more creative. There we go. It looks like a dark green now. And we're just going to go in with this brown while we've got it in a hand. And darken these areas. And we'll grab the blending stump again. Okie dokie. I'm actually going to grab the black, okay? And I'm going to just do this little bit of outline just here in black. And the same here. Only because I feel I'm not getting the right effect. Okay. Oops. Apparently my tip was a little bit too sharp. Redefine that a little bit. There we go. So as you can see, I try not to use the black unless I really have to. Okay? And it's the same here, like you can't seem to be able to separate them properly. So I'm actually going to put a little bit of the black into here just to darken it a bit more. Okay, and we'll sort of do the same here, like so. And the same along here. because these areas are quite dark. There we go. And that should have fixed it. It's pretty good now. I'm quite happy with that. So as you can see, like, although I try not to use black, sometimes I just need to in order to get the effect that I want. And what's the effect? The effect is getting the realism and the only way to do that sometimes is actually to use black. But if you can get away with it, which generally when it comes to using paints, yes you can. When it comes to pencils, a little bit more trickier. So, but I tried not to use too much of it, so it's all good. Now, we're going to do that last little bit there, and then we'll do this last little leaf or whatever it is from the tomato. And then we'll call it all good. How's that? Okay. So again, where's my dark brown? We'll do the dark brown business along here. And we'll grab, I might grab the acid green. Although it doesn't seem to make a difference between the acid green or the dark green, so maybe it was a little waste of time, but that's okay. And I'm going to have to put a bit of black into this again too, because it is quite dark there. And we want to make sure we've got a nice sharp line here. Like so. Mix that up. Okay. And then we'll grab the blending stump. Blend it all in a bit more. Now, next. Okay, so we'll grab the acid green. And we'll put some of that in. Nice and light until we get over to this section here. And I'm going to do the little hook bit there. Put that in. There we go. And then I'll grab the olive green. We'll use olive green in here, I think. And we'll grab the dark brown. Now, if you would have noticed, I just put a couple of little lines in there, and it's basically to show the bark in the stump, because yeah, or the little grooves in the stem, because let's face it, it's not an actual tree, so. But yeah, that's basically what we're doing here. So, and again, I'll go in with the black just to make the darker areas darker. And then we'll do this bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the dark brown straight off the bat. I'm going to go from about here and move it straight down. Oops. Try not to go over your lines. Oh. I am having such a bad day. But you know what? It's going to be an awesome day. That's what I'm telling myself, and that's what's going to be happening. I'm going to have an awesome day today. And I'm just going in with the acid green now. Try and make it even darker, and then finish off that last bit down here. But I'm going to add the clay yellow or yellow ochre into this bit here, like so. And then I'm going to use my black again, because this is actually super black in this area here. And again, we're trying to separate it from there to this bit. You don't want it to look like it's all one piece, you know, like you want to make sure you can tell that one looks different to the other. And I'm noticing just here, and basically what I'm actually doing is by putting more black around here, it actually brings this forward, and that's what you want. So I'm going to do the same over here. I'm just doing it very, very lightly in just in little circles. Why do I have the feeling that hubby hasn't got the back door shut? Because I can hear him loud and clear with the grinder. So I shall be back in a second, guys. Apologies to my husband. He does have the door shut, but for some reason the noise is coming in a lot louder this time. So basically what I'm trying to do here is making this come forward a bit more. So I'm trying to darken it a bit more. So, as I say, it's trickier when it comes to using your pencils. And considering the kind of day I'm having today, not sure if I'll be able to pull it off. So I'll just leave it at that. And what I'm going to do is very lightly just go over this bit with the black while I've got it in my hand. So, okay, now we'll use our little blending stump, and we'll just blend this a bit. Because what I'm going to have to do here is actually the opposite. Make it a little bit brighter along there. And I'm just using the apple green to do that. I'll put some of the apple green in here as well. And just there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab my dark red and go along the edge here. In order to move all that to the back. Like so. Okay, uncover your picture please. Okay, so now we're just going to colour in this little bit in the background here from the tomato. And again, we'll just do bits darker, bits lighter in order to get the right effects. Now I'm going to grab the purple again and just put some right down the bottom in the corners, because it'll be naturally a lot darker there, which it is. And the same here, I'm just going to put some of the purple in, but then sort of fade it out. And then we'll just blend them a little bit. And I might end up being naughty and going in with the black. Just along the edge here. Because again, I feel like I'm not getting the dimensions, so just add just a tiny bit here and there. Divide these two. There we go. I'll put a little bit of the black, very, very lightly. Very, very lightly, because we don't want to make it look black. And there you have it. Now, of course, I'm not going to put these little bits in because I did them. They don't belong there. So, but as you can see, it looks pretty much like a tomato. Okay, mine's not very rounded like a tomato normally is. I could fix it, and the way I would fix it, because I might as well show you, is by grabbing my dark red and bringing this out a bit more. So basically what I'm showing you here is you can always change it. If you feel by this point that you still haven't got the shape right, you can change it. So I'll go in with the orange yellow again. Put some of that in, like so. We'll define this line a bit more. And we'll grab our purple. And we'll grab our red. Because in reality, the only thing we need to remember is what colours did we use over here. And we did use the red, the dark red, the purple, the orange yellow, and therefore, whoops, we can change it just like that. And then we'll grab a blending stump and blend it all together. Just like that. And no one would ever know. Now, I hope you found this tutorial very useful, and I hope I didn't make a lot of sense. If you've got any questions, leave your comments down below and I will answer them for you. As I say, I'm not having the perfect day today, so that's fine. We all have those days, so you know, even artists can have a bad day and things don't tend to turn out exactly the way they want to. However, we still got the look that we wanted. Okay? That's all that mattered. So, having said that, next week we are going to be doing it in watercolours. So, be sure to have your tomato all sketched out. I will do the same. I'll have mine all sketched out. And the best thing to use, especially if you're going to be considering we're using watercolours next week, is do make sure that you either use a watercolour pencil or a water soluble pencil to do your sketching, because that way you can make sure your lines don't show. So if you haven't done so already, please be sure to give us a thumbs up to begin with, and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you get notified for any other videos that are popping up. Until then, I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.